from the Honorable Minister for Science, Innovation and Technology, Chief Uche Nnaji, the Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Mariam Mahmood. Oh my God. The chairman of this great occasion, my apologies please, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, ably represented by our dear brother, the Deputy Senate President, and our dear Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, ably represented also. DSP, please, I'm very sorry for misappropriation. Members of the Federal Executive Council here present, the National Secretary of our great party, and members of the National Working Committee. My Lord, the Kali Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Hassan Kuka, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Director General of the Progressive Institute, management and staff of the Institute, members of our great party from both the national and subnational levels, our state chairman of our great party, women leaders, youth groups of APC, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I feel truly honored to be part of the history we are making today with the formal unveiling of the Progressive Institute. First of all, this occasion is happening under my watch as the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, which on its own makes me a part of this milestone event. Yet, in addition, the national leadership of our great party, the All Progressive Congress, still deemed it fit that I should deliver the inaugural address on this special occasion. For that, I feel also greatly honored indeed. However, I think what is more important is the brilliant idea behind the conceptualization of the Progressive Institute. It is a great idea that is being actualized at the right time and for the right reason. Over the years, many have seen politics in Nigeria as a means for quick and primitive acquisition of wealth. But in reality, a good number of our politicians, through their conduct, give vent to this public perception. The worst of all is the public perception of political parties as a main vehicle for the acquisition of power. Because many politicians have bought into this perception, they change their political party as if it were a piece of cloth. The idea that if one vehicle breaks down, abandon it and join the next available one. What matters to many such politicians is the end and not the means. If truth must be told, I think many of us may fit this description. But I believe, however, that there is time for everything. There is time for freestyle wrestling in politics, where political parties serve as mere vehicles to attain political power. There is also time for the incubation of ideas to drive the political process. There is time for ideas or ideologies to be proper and to drive the polity. In our case, the time is now. After many years of trial and error with democracy, and after the defeat of 25 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, the time has come for our politics and our political parties to be driven solely by ideology. This is why the Progressive Institute is not only a brilliant idea, but the right one at the right time. From the objectives of the Institute, it will serve as the political umpire that will ensure that elected and appointed public officers from the All Progressive Congress are constantly on track concerning adherence to the progressive ideology of our party. For me, this is a clear public notice that henceforth, our great party will be driven by ideology and ideology alone. It is a further notice to politicians to decide whether they are genuinely progressive or not. This is why I believe that the leadership of our party, the APC, deserves all the commendation they can get for the initiative of this bold, refreshing, innovative, and pragmatic idea of this institute. It is also not surprising that this great initiative is being unveiled under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, a consummate progressive and the leader of our great party. Indeed, the noble objective of the Progressive Institute calls for celebration. It is a pointer to the fact that the leadership of APC is thinking ahead into the digital age, an age where the relevance of political parties will not only be measured by electoral victories alone, but by the tangible and the enduring values they can add to the dynamics of social growth and change. As an intellectual resource center and a think tank, the Progressive Institute could not only have been better designed as a catalyst for social change. This ensures that our party, the APC, is always in sync with the social dynamics of the 21st century. I doff my cap to our party and its leaders for this foresight. It is not surprising that this milestone is happening now because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is used to be scoring first in all his endeavors. The bringing together of like minds to find the All Progressive Congress on the eve of the 2015 general elections and the defeat of an incumbent president the same year remains a feat and a first in the history of political evolution and leadership in our country, if not the continent, except for a similar feat by the Rainbow Coalition of Kenya, founded in 2005. Ideas said that he set an example for other progressives across the globe. President Joe Biden of the Democratic Party in the United States defeated an incumbent president, President Donald Trump, in 2020. And only recently, Keir Starmer of the Labour Party in the UK has stirred another incumbent, Rishi Sunak. We all also know how our president fought gallantly and overcame all odds to emerge victorious at the 2023 general elections to the glory of God. That is a typical example of a progressive driven by the progressive ideology, strengthened by tenacity. That is why I was not surprised that Progressive Institute is established by our great party, coming less than 18 months after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assumed office. With him, things usually happen. Let me therefore tap into this glorious heritage by savoring this moment that this institute took off during my tenure as the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum. By establishing this institute, we are following in the footsteps of the Democratic Leadership Council, DLC, which founded the Progressive Policy Institute in Washington, D.C. in 1989 as a centrist democratic institution. Let me reiterate my gratitude to the management of the institution for the honor granted unto me to deliver the inaugural address at the unveiling of this august institution, which, as the management has assured, will be a think tank and intellectual resource center not only for our party, but Nigeria and indeed the African continent. When I read the lofty programs outlined by the Institute, I remembered one of the fundamental factors spelled out in the manifesto of our great party, which is to attract the best brains to the party and, of course, the governance of our dear country. Looking at the array of personalities here in this hall, are we still in doubt that our party is attracting best brains to advise in the governance of our country? We did it in Lagos. We are doing it in many states. And we shall currently, as we are doing in Nigeria, come out successfully. Away from the topic suggested to me by the management to speak on, the progressive philosophy and its problematic implications on governance, I decided to interrogate and expand the topic by looking at the gamut of progressive ideology and how it impacts democracy and governance. This informed the choice of the topic, sustaining progressive ideology as a bedrock of democracy. I saw a nexus between this topic and the objectives of the Institute, especially in applying the philosophy of the progressives to attain good governance. I therefore settled for the topic because it enables us to discuss the ideology of progressives and how it can sustain democracy and good governance. Many people may not even understand the deeper meaning of the word progressive. Others may also be astounded about what ideology truly means. But given the fact that Nigerians have been accused of not playing politics of ideology, but that anything goes when political power is attained, therefore, the challenge for us as progressives is how we build a Nigeria where the daughter of a farmer in Borno State has the same opportunities as the son of a banker in Lagos. This question and challenge encapsulate the essence of our progressive vision for Nigeria. So let it be known that today, as we inaugurate the Progressive Institute, we are not just opening doors to a new building. We are opening our minds to new thinking and the new possibilities for our beloved nation. This institute represents our commitment to turning progressive concepts into real, lasting change for every Nigerian. This is so because progressive ideology goes beyond political philosophy. It is a practical approach to governance that derives meaningful change. It envisions a society where every citizen has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of their background. But what does this mean to us in Nigeria as we tackle the complex challenges of the 21st century? A brief reference to the history of the progressive movement in the United States will suffice at this point. The primary aim of the progressive movement we are therefore concerned with establishing and running governments that were more transparent and accountable, and whose primary purpose was to improve the society. Thus, at the center of it all, progressive ideology aims to build a society that leaves no one behind. It uses governmental power to enhance lives, cultivate social justice, and create opportunities for all. This approach requires a delicate balance, encouraging individual enterprise while safeguarding collective well-being. It is the middle way. The oldest political party in the world, the Democratic Party in the United States of America, founded in 1828, was once known as the Party of the Common Man. It was the same with the Labour Party in the United Kingdom, which was founded in 1900. It sits on the center left of the political spectrum and won overwhelmingly in the last general election because of its appeal to the common man. What then is a progressive political party? From the foregoing, it is clear that the progressive political party is a party that means well for the common man because it embraces welfareism above extreme capitalism. When we appraise progressive ideology as a bedrock for the sustenance of democracy, we simply look at how our government, through its laudable policies and programs, is responding to the yearnings of the people, especially in matters of their welfare. Good governance is where a government strives to attend to the needs of the people and indeed manages the finances of the nation transparently and honestly to the satisfaction of the electorate. Progressive philosophy encourages good governance and development, which ab initio is the reason for the existence of government. In practical terms, this translates to, number one, investing in robust social programs that provide a foundation for all Nigerians to thrive. We envision a Nigeria with accessible healthcare, good quality education for every child, and social security that offers dignity to our elderly and supports those facing challenging times. Implementing a fair and progressive tax system where those who have benefited most from our nation's resources contribute their fair share to its development. Protecting the rights of workers, ensuring fair wages and safe working conditions that allow every Nigerian to earn a decent living through honest labor. Safeguarding our environment and natural resources, recognizing that today's wealth should not come at the cost of our children's future. Promoting social justice and equality, dismantling the barriers of discrimination that have held back too many of our brothers and sisters for too long. Now let us try to go to an overview of the impact of progressive ideology in governance. A quick look at the impact of progressive ideology in governance in countries of the West, as an example, will drive my postulation home to it that the progressive ideology is indeed a bedrock for democracy and good governance. In the United Kingdom, the post-World War II Labour government established the National Health Service, better known by its initials, NHS. And this is to provide universal healthcare access. This progressive policy has become a cornerstone of the British society, demonstrating how government action can dramatically improve the quality of life of its citizens. In like manner, it was the Democrats that initiated both the social security system and Medicare programs in America. In 1935, The Democrats and President Franklin Roosevelt created Social Security, which provides economic subsistence for the less privileged. In 1965, the Democrats and President Lyndon Johnson created Medicare, a policy that ensures that Medicare is available to the poor and vulnerable. These are significant landmarks in American history, and it is not by accident that they were championed by Democrats. More recently, the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare, which is aimed at providing health insurance coverage for all Americans, was championed by Democrats and President Barack Obama in 2010. The program background of this act is that it is designed to protect consumers from insurance companies that might drive up treatment costs or restrict care due to the inability of patients to pay. This is the polycentric signature of progressive ideology. The APC and the progressive IT, All Progressive Congress, which is our party, shares people-centric and people-oriented values with other progressive movements worldwide. Like the ANC in South Africa or the Workers' Party in Brazil, we believe in the power and responsibility of government to improve lives and build a more equitable society. But make no mistake about it, our approach is uniquely different in Nigeria, because that Nigeria is tailored to a special circumstances. There are special needs and aspirations of our great people. In a complex society like our country, it must take some level of technical engineering to manage leadership. Our party's manifesto and programs practically captured our commitment to progressive ideas. Under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, we are now putting these ideals into action towards social welfare. We have announced the reinstatement and expansion of our social investment programs with an ambitious goal of providing direct support to 75 million Nigerians across 50 million households. This includes the revitalization of initiatives like the conditional cash transfer and the Empower programs. In healthcare, we have unveiled plans for massive investment in our health sector, including a comprehensive revamp of the primary healthcare centers. We are also redesigning the basic healthcare provision fund to enhance access to essential services. In education, the establishment of the Students' Loan Act 2023 and the Nigerian Education Loan Fund demonstrates our commitment to expanding access to higher education, ensuring that financial constraints do not hold back our brightest minds. Economic reforms. While measures like the unification of exchange rates and the removal of fuel subsidy may pose short-term challenges, we are committed to implementing robust social welfare measures to cushion their impact on vulnerable populations. Our belief that these reforms will improve the welfare of most people in the long term remains unwavering. In food security, we have provided a 200 billion naira intervention fund to address urgent issues and have also introduced other emergency policies that will improve food security, such as the duty waiver on food items and distribution of fertilizers across the country. These initiatives represent the practical application of progressive principles, the belief in an active government working for the betterment of all citizens, the commitment to social justice and equality, the dedication to creating opportunities for every Nigerian to reach their full potentials is behind the driving principle of our various progressive programs. The role of the Progressive Institute in promoting progressive ideology is what we should now be talking of. As we launch the Progressive Institute today, we do so with a clear understanding of its pivotal role in further developing and refining these initiatives. It is heartwarming to know that this institute will serve as the intellectual engine of our progressive movements, bridging the gap between our ideals and the practical realities of governance in Nigeria. To this end, I'm glad to note that the Progressive Institute will conduct rigorous research on progressive ideals and their pragmatic implications, providing us with empirical research-driven solutions to help our party deliver more efficient governance. We expect the Institute to develop comprehensive curricula for ideological training, not just for our party members, but also for those in government. This will enhance the intellectual foundation of our party, ensuring that our progressive values permeate every level of governance. We expect that they will elevate the quality of our policy formulation and implementation through research-driven, empirical and accountable approaches, serve as a platform for well-defined ideological discussions, helping to distinguish the APC's progressive stance from other political ideologies, leverage on science and technology to deepen internal democracy within the APC, embracing innovation and innovative approaches to party operations and governance, engage directly with the public, serving as a bridge between our party's vision and aspiration of our citizens. Through this engagement, we will ensure that our policies are not just progressive in theory, but responsive to the real needs of Nigerians. We expect you to develop long-term visions and strategies for addressing Nigerians' challenges, providing forward-thinking solutions that are aligned with our progressive ideologies. As I reflect on the significance of this moment, I'm struck by a remarkable realization. The All Progressive Congress is poised to become the first political party in Africa to establish a dedicated think tank of this nature. While some may point to institutions like the ANC Political School in South Africa, the Progressive Institute represents a pioneering step forward, a full-fledged think tank devoted to rigorous policy research and development. This is not just a first for Nigeria, it is a first for our continent. It underscores our commitment to evidence-based policy making and sets a new standard for political parties across Africa. However, let me be clear. Our goal isn't to be first for accolades. The accurate measure of the Progressive Institute's success, and indeed of our party, will be the tangible impact we have on the lives of ordinary Nigerians. By establishing this institute, we are not just creating a think tank, we are laying the foundation for a new era of governance in Nigeria and potentially in Africa. We are demonstrating that political parties can and should be at the forefront of policy innovation, driving progress through rigorous research and analysis. This pioneering step carries with it a great responsibility. We must ensure that the Progressive Institute lives up to its potential and that it truly becomes a catalyst for transformative policies that improve the lives of all Nigerians. It must distinguish the APC as a party that does not just seek power, but also actively works to use the power to improve the lives of all citizens. The success of the Progressive Institute, and indeed of our party, will be measured not by the elegance of our ideas, but by the tangible impact we have on the lives of ordinary Nigerians. It is through the clear accomplishment of the Institute's objective that we will genuinely distinguish the APC as a party for the people. In conclusion, as progressive, the fact that public services like education, healthcare, security, criminal justice, and social services are critical to equal opportunities in a civilized society. Often, this can only be achieved through reforms. These reforms may seem difficult and unpalatable initially, like the removal of subsidy and exchange rate unification. It may seem difficult and unpalatable, but for the reasons that are very obvious, we have to just swallow the pill. Cynics may be skeptical of progressive policies, viewing them as unrealistic or economically unsound. To them, I say, look at the evidence before us. Progressive policies, when implemented thoughtfully, have lifted millions out of poverty in other climes, spurred economic growth, and created more stable and prosperous societies across the world. We are not pursuing ideologies for its sake. We are pursuing what works. The Progressive Institute will play a critical role in analyzing our policy proposals, ensuring that our progressive vision is grounded in sound economic principles and tailored to Nigeria's unique context. Market these ideologies, defend these programs, educate the masses, sensitize our people to understand the initial challenges that comes with progressive policies, and when finally accomplished, brings in prosperity for all. Moreover, we acknowledge the challenges ahead. Implementing progressive policies in a diverse and complex nation like Nigeria is no small feat. We will face resistance. We will face setbacks. There will be unforeseen obstacles and tailwinds. But it is precisely because of these challenges that we need the Progressive Institute. The Institute will serve as our compass, guiding us through difficult decisions, helping us stay true to our progressive values, even in the face of adversity. To my fellow party members, Nigeria's intellectual community, and all citizens committed to our nation's progress, this is a call to action. Engage with the Progressive Institute, support its work, challenge its ideas, contribute to your expertise and experiences. Let's help them to work for us all. To our party members, I urge you to see the Institute as a resource for deepening your understanding of progressive governance. Participate in its training programs, contribute to its research, and use its insight to inform your work at all levels of government. To our intellectuals and academics, I invite you to bring your expertise to bear on the pressing issues facing our nation. The Progressive Institute will provide a platform for your ideas to shape policies and drive real change in Nigeria. To our youth, I say, the Progressive Institute is your institute. It is a place where your voices can be heard and your innovative ideas can be expressed. Engage with it, challenge it if possible, and use it as a launchpad for your vision of a better Nigeria. And to all Nigerians, I say the Progressive Institute is here to serve you, and its success depends on your active participation. Share your experiences, your challenges, your aspirations. Help us ensure that our policies genuinely reflect the needs and dreams of every Nigerian. So, for all practical purposes, the establishment of the Progressive Institute is not merely the creation of another think tank. It is an audacious statement of our unshakable commitment to a progressive ideology that will shape Nigeria's future for generations. The path we have chosen is not an easy one. It demands great courage, it demands dedication, it demands sacrifice, and the willingness to challenge the status quo. But it is the only path that leads to the Nigeria we all dream of. A nation where every citizen, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to thrive. Where social justice is not just an ideal, but a lived reality. Where our collective welfare takes precedence
is not an easy one. It demands great courage. It demands dedication. It demands sacrifice and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But it is the only path that leads to the Nigeria we all dream of. A nation where every citizen, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to thrive. Where social justice is not just an ideal, but a lived reality. Where our collective welfare takes precedence over individual gain. As we leave this gathering today, let us carry with us the excitement of a new beginning and a renewed sense of purpose and responsibility. Let each of us commit to being an ambassador of our progressive ideology. Let's reduce the attitude of criticisms. Let us help our communities understand the new reality of progressive policies and principles. Let us engage our fellow citizens, listen to their concerns, show them through our words and actions how progressive policies can transform their lives for the better. As a practical way to walk my talk, let me declare here and now that all the council chairmen and the councillors who will emerge from our local government elections this month in Imo State will come to the Progressive Institute for workshops. And the whole idea is to build them up on the progressive ideology for grassroots development. To the management and the administrators of the Institute, today's inauguration should be seen as the beginning of a long journey. You are now faced with the responsibility of growing this institute into a reputable and credible institution that should outlive all of us. As I said at a different forum, we need strong institutions to build the country we desire. History tells us that strong institutions are more important than strong men. Let me end this inaugural address by reiterating that with the Progressive Institute as our guide, with our commitment to social justice and welfare for all citizens, and with our unity as a party,
we will drive it. The future of Nigeria is in our hands. Let us shape it with wisdom, compassion, and unshakable commitment to the great progressive ideas we hold dear. Together, we will build a Nigeria that will be the pride of Africa, a shining example to the world of what progressive governance can achieve. I want to thank all of you, and may God bless us all. Long live the progressive ideology, long live APC, long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as you go back to your various destinations, may the Almighty God guide and protect you. Thank you.